We've got to check back in with the airlines. Delta, American, United, and JetBlue. In case you're listening on XM Radio, channel 113, we got to tell you these numbers. Delta's up 8.25%, American up 8.5%, UAL up 8.25%, JetBlue up 7+%, because all four say revenues will be up. They're raising their current quarter forecasts on strong travel demand that they believe will offset the rise in jet fuel prices. But just as Americans are eager to travel again, all four commercial liners are cutting capacity to help shoulder the energy costs. JetBlue founder David Neeleman is the guy who disrupted the entire airline industry when he founded the low-cost carrier in 2000. He is doing it again with his new airline, Breeze Airways. Let's bring him in now. Breeze Airways founder and CEO, JetBlue and Azul Airways founder, David Neeleman. You're a serial airline founder, David. What do you think about these big carriers cutting capacity just as people are dying to get back on airplanes again?
Well, there's a lot of factors. There was the spike in fuel prices that probably had a little effect on it, but now they're coming down. But also there's a critical pilot shortage in the United States today. The big airlines retired almost 8,000 pilots, early retired, said, we don't need you, go retire, we'll pay you to retire. And now they're saying, holy, whatever, we need to get some more pilots. And that's causing, the essential air service has been cut to cities. The regional airlines are all cutting service, so that may play a role as well.
Well, they've cut, as we like to say, the spokes of the hub and spoke model. And the spokes, of course, were the shorter haul routes to smaller cities. And precisely as they are cutting capacity, you guys are jumping in and announcing 35 new routes from 10 different cities. Some of them, I love this, Syracuse to Vegas. You've got Providence in there. You've got Savannah, Georgia, and then LA and San Francisco as well. What is the thinking behind these new routes? And tell us about them.
Well, our motto is we want to get you there for twice as fast for about half the price. That's kind of our motto. And so we have being seriously nice, of course. But, there's a lot of routes that have been abandoned or have never been flown. Travel kind of demographics have moved. A lot of people are moving from the Northeast to the kind of the central region of the United States. And so these are routes that, by and large, don't have any nonstop competition. And we just know if people can go nonstop and they can do it for less money, they just go more often. And so that's really what we're targeting.
I do have to ask how you are dealing with the pilot shortage and the soaring jet fuel prices.
Well, it's, there were regulations that changed pilot regulations. There was a really tragic crash years and years ago in Buffalo. And so they changed the requirements for a commercial pilot from 250 hours to 1,500 hours. And, those aren't really necessarily quality hours. They're really just a quantity. And so we're, talking to the FAA and other people, and Senator Schumer has been instrumental in this, and say, look, if we can create quality hours, because what's happening is we're having to go outside the United States to bring in pilots, and it's really affecting, this large number of hours is affecting minorities and women to be able to become airline pilots. So we can be 1,000% safe and do it with less hours. And I think that's really the key to solve the shortage right now. And because it's limiting service, it's driving up airfares, it's bad for consumers. And the U.S. Air transportation system is the safest as it's ever been. It's incredibly safe. I don't think there's even been an accident since that Buffalo accident. And that really had nothing to do with hours of the pilots. So, I think there's a lot that can be done, and we're working hard to kind of modify things so we can keep those fares down and keep the system safe.
Yeah, and keep the small cities involved in air travel. Good for you, David. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Liz.
David Neeleman of Breeze Airways.